Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Haroldus and today I want to talk about automated testing for your application. This video will cover testing pyramid, which consists of unit testing, integration testing and end-to-end testing. So let's start with unit testing. So in here I have a basic .NET 8 console app. Currently all it does prints out a line saying this is my very simple unit testing example. I also have a calculator class with two methods, one to add and one to subtract. Unit testing allows you to isolate the smallest parts of your code and to check that they are doing what they are supposed to do. This is usually accomplished by testing the individual methods or functions. A good practice is to arrange the test using the arrange, act and assert pattern. So in this case, arrange is instantiating the calculator object, act is calling the actual method that is being tested, and assert is checking that the result is the same as expected result. Integration tests evaluate an app's components on a broader level than unit tests. Unit tests are used to test isolated code, such as an individual method or functions. Integration tests confirm that two or more app components work together to produce an expected result, possibly including every component required to fully process a request. So here I have an API project template with Swagger that I haven't really modified. It will represent a part of an application that we want to test. This integration test doesn't really follow best practices, but I just want to use it as an example. It is using the same arrange act assert pattern and is testing that it is possible to make an HTTP request to the weather forecast endpoint and that it returns the status code 200. In a more realistic example, it would be testing the integration between the database and the endpoint that is exposing the data. In this example, the arrange sets up an API instance, creates another thread and then runs it on another thread. For act, the current thread sleeps for 5 seconds awaiting while the API instance will be created, then makes an HTTP request to the weather forecast endpoint. Lastly, an assertion is made to check if the API responded with the status code 200. Overall, this is probably not the best example of an integration test, however it should be enough to get the point across. Lastly, I want to give an example of an end-to-end testing. For this example I'll be using Playwright, which is an end-to-end testing framework. End-to-end testing allows you to automatically test features on applications. Here I have a very basic .NET web application that has a button on the home page and a contact us form. When you fill out the form and press send, it should take you to a home/success page. Here I have two end-to-end tests. The first one checks that the open contact form button on the home page takes you to home/form page. The second test actually fills out the contact us form and submits it, checking that it's actually possible to submit the form, and then on submit it goes to home/success page. So using end-to-end tests allows you to test overall implemented functionality. This can be very useful in DevOps pipelines, making sure that your application functionality is still working correctly before deploying it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you implement the testing pyramid in your project? And do you use all 3 types of automated tests in your applications? Thanks for watching and see you again in the next one.